I hosted a mono type tournament, a solo type tournament, and you are going to get to see the top 4, the best of the best competitors in it. Today we're going to be playing and showing off the top 4, the finale of this mono type tournament. You're gonna get to see some high level gameplay in a really unique format. Welcome in, everyone, welcome in. See, Yobrick says hello. Yobrick. Great to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yobrick, we are lined up for cinema. We have players that were honed from the fire, honed in this very unique, this very awesome format here. And you're gonna get to see some very cool games. Versus Top Gun. Yes. This is gonna be a super fun format, everyone. But first, I gotta explain what the heck monotype even is. You may not know. It's not a very common format. The way monotype works is, I'm just gonna put it on the screen here. Oh, there's a little Aldino on the bottom. Let me drag her up. Say hi to Aldino. There she is. Chat, I'm gonna pull this up here. Boom! As you guys see here, we have a tier list. And if we zoom in on that, it's gonna say right here, monotype tier list, chat, monotype. The way monotype works is you can only have every Pokemon must share one type on the team. Every Pokemon must share one type. So, for example, here, we have Ghost in the top tier, Ghost type. That means you're going to have a team with something like Gengar, Sinistcha, Mimikyu, Basculegion, Frostlass, all Ghost types, basically, all Ghost types. Every single player that was in this tournament had to pick one of these types to build around, and they had to prepare themselves against every other type, every other opponent that they could face. Even in the matchups that are awful. The Ghost types, you're gonna have to fight against Dark type trainers and somehow pull out a victory. The Fairy types, you're gonna have to fight against Steel type trainers. That's what these competitors did, and that's what's honed in the fire. To just give you guys some more context on the format and how the different types pan out, this is easily the top 7 types in the format. We see here Ghost is absolutely broken. Why is Ghost so broken? Chat, you have to understand that Ghost types were not made for VGC balance in mind. First off, one of the best moves in the game, chat, one of the absolute goats of Pokemon VGCs, fundamentally, fake out, chat, fake out. One of the most fundamental moves in the game, period. You know what's one of the best parts about being a mono type, about being a mono Ghost type? Your whole team's immune to fake out. That combined with Ghost type just having some of the most undisputed god tier Pokemon in the game means that you are set for success if you're using this. You have the Frostlass to think about, you have the Gengar, the Basculegion, just threat after threat after threat. You have the Sinistcha, you have Sableye. Sableye isn't even that crazy of a Pokemon, but Sableye gives the team a myriad of options, a myriad of modes to play. You can have a bulky Basculegion that's backed up by screens and you run Citrus Berry on it. You could use Perish Trap Gengar and use Fake Out and Encore to Sable on it. You have Frostlass modes with Aurora Veil and you can play bulky Basculegion that way. Phenomenal type, undisputed. In the A tier, chat, we have 6 types I would say are about the same level here. Fairy type, just the fundamentally most powerful type in the game. I wouldn't put it as high as mono Ghost though, because Ghost type is just, Ghost type being able to hit so many different types of neutral is just truly ridiculous. Truly ridiculous. But Fairy, of course, you're gonna have some threats. You're gonna have the Follette, you're gonna have the Mawile, you're gonna have Whimsicott. A lot of different modes of that team. We're gonna see your Flying Dragon, Dark Steel. One just very fundamentally great types with just great Pokemon on them. Flying, of course, having the Mega Charizard and the Mega Aerodactyl. And of course, Water at the tail, and not to be forgotten either. Very solid type with Pokemon like Basculegion, also Pokemon like Milotic. And we're gonna, you can go down to tier list, you can see piece by piece what kind of types I would say are roughly where they are when it comes to balance and all that good stuff there. It's gonna show you all this real quick. Just so you can get a reference to the full tier list. We won't go over the full thing because we got some games to show you guys. We got some games to show. But first, chat, we have our top 4 players here: Bridget, Mysteria, Helix, Azure. You guys gotta understand who they are. It's one thing to just watch some high-level gameplay. It's another thing to really understand the players and the context behind their stories, and then see their gameplay, know their story, know their background. So that's what we're going to do here, chat. Starting off with Helix. Helix B. potentially the favorite to win this whole entire thing, an extraordinarily experienced player. I give each of these players some questions and answers just to get a scope for the background so that you guys can understand and that I can understand them better. He was starting off saying, I got into Pokemon as a whole at a very young age through friends and family, but didn't necessarily touch competitive in the 20s, and only touched competitive in the 2076 season, which is very impressive. He was noting that they joined this tournament and found out about me from a server link somewhere else. And that's awesome, right? Me being able to, show these players off and being able to reach out to them through server invites is awesome, awesome, awesome. He was saying that she joined this tournament for fun and to experience building and playing in a restrictive closed environment. And that's one of the core things that makes monotype so cool. You don't have these kind of restrictions in standard play. It's very, very, very unique. That's, that's just great to hear here. Going on about their background here, we're gonna see that in the first day of competition, they actually used Mono Ghost, and we'll continue it in day 2. Chat, for reference, this of course is a 2-day competition because we didn't play monotype stuff earlier, but I give each player the option to change their team round 4 top 4 because there was quite a gap. There was about a week and a half gap between the day 1 and the day 2, but he was feeling confident in their team here, which I don't blame him. I don't blame him. When you guys see this team, it's gonna be a threat. So that's one of the 4 players. We'll keep introducing the players as we go, but for now, chat, we're gonna have our first set. We're gonna have our first set between Helix, as we just showed off there, alongside Mick West. Helix versus Mick West, chat. Mick West also said quite a bit about their background for this here. I said I got some cake for the stream. Hell yeah! I'm excited to. I'm happy you got some cake because you're gonna see some cinema, some absolute cinema here. So Helix and Mick West are both about to join the room. While they are joining in and preparing the battle, all that good stuff there, let's hear a bit about Mick West. Let's hear a bit about their background. So first of all, Mick West recommended VGC videos someday, and they wanted to try it, and it turns out that VGC compared to singles just scratched that itch to them, which is very, very cool to hear. And it sounds like Mick West had a blast playing in this specific tournament, and that they're gonna play more. Isn't that awesome? Dude, chat, I'm really happy to create an environment where players are, able to get more comfortable with the competition factor. We're using fun formats, but still, players are competing to win. So I'm happy that this competitive edge was scratched for them. It was scratched for them. It's like petting a cat, and they're like, "Marr!" That was Mick West right there. And also finding about me through the tournament, which is pretty cool to hear. And Mick West actually did something pretty amazing here. Mick West broke down what the team is like piece by piece, which is just super duper cool to see. You're talking about the Aggron here, and Aggron being a star of the show using the Iron Defense Body Press set. There's actually a set that was pretty common at the start of the game, so very excited to see how the set could come into play against Mick West here, or into Helix here. And yeah, they broke down their team piece by piece. It was extremely cool to see. Very, very thorough. I'm probably gonna link all these so you guys can see them as well if you want to view them on your own pace. But it's very, very, very cool to see Mono Steel. And let's just take a head-to-head, chat. We'll take a head-to-head. Let's see what both of these teams are like and how they can compare to one another. Soda redeemed by Apple. I gotcha. I got orange soda. This is yummy. Orange soda is quite good. I usually have orange soda as much as I have cola because I love cola. Cola is just such an incredible taste, but yeah, very, very solid here. Chat, let's compare the 2 teams here. Let's compare the 2 teams. Let's see what both players are opting for in this match, in these semifinals. We're gonna see right here. Aldino's actually kind of, in the way, but it's fine. It's fine. Shouts Aldino. On the left here, we have Helix's team. Helix's team with the Gengar Perish. We're gonna see the Annihilape at the bottom middle here has a Book of Drain Punch set. Also paired with Goldango for a very offensive piece. Goldango and Annihilape just super solid Pokemon. Annihilape really important on this squad, being able to resist or being able to be neutral to the dark type hits and also hit dark types are super effective. Basculate is just one of the best Pokemon in the game fundamentally, and also just amazing with Gengar, amazing with Goldango. So it's going to be very important redirection for this team as well. While on the right side here, we're going to have Mick West running this steel type, this mono steel team. Of course, you have some threats here as well. You have the Klefki plus Arcowdon combo. Klefki is able to give you Prankster Rain Dance, so basically instant Rain Dance, which is super important for our Arcowdon so we can go for those electro shots. I will say though, Mick West, you're gonna have to be careful because these two players actually faced off against each other in day 1. And this Sableye here, this Sableye on Helix's squad was a menace for this Klefki, was a menace for this Archaudon. They were able to use the Prankster Encores to make things difficult for them. They weren't able to get the Rain Dance boost, they weren't able to get the Electroshock boost as they pleased. Says, hi, Altino. I still got a jar. We'll have it running. I'm excited to see you, John. Very, very excited. Here we go, guys. Round 1, semifinals. We're gonna see the Mawile plus Klefki lead as the opponents see Goldango and Sableye here. I do have to note this lead is what Helix went for in game 3 of the set they had last time. We're gonna see McWest shake it up a bit with this Klefki Mawile duo. Now you do have the Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch very, very, very threatening for this Goldango. Very curious on how you're gonna play around it. Sucker Punch is such a phenomenal move. Oh, you don't have Sucker Punch. Sorry about that. You have Knockoff, rather. You have Knockoff. We're gonna see the Fake Out. No Protect on either side here. So we're not gonna be able to go for Knockoff this turn. What's Goldango gonna go for? Nasty Plot! Nasty Plot's gonna be a very scary move for our opponents to deal with here. Klefki, what you gonna do? Klefki gonna activate Trick Room here. I like that call. Of course, we're gonna have to be careful because Encore could really set Klefki far behind here. So naturally, you're just gonna have to switch out Klefki, but who are you gonna switch to? And are they going to be comfortable taking that swap, taking that potential damage? Klefki is going to withdraw. There could be a chance Helix withdraws their Sableye as well, but let's see. Archaudon's gonna hit the field now! Archaudon hitting the field with no rain. As Sableye goes to Encore, but we're going to see a whiff. What is this Mawile gonna go for? It's gonna go for Knockout, but that's gonna get beat off by the Protect here. This is a pretty interesting spot because while Sableye does not have Disable, can't disable this Knockoff, it does have Reflect to really slow down how much damage Mawile is doing to Goldango. Now granted, Knockoff still might one-shot Goldango anyway, but let's see here. Reflect might be a difference maker, but you also just might swap out your Goldango for something like the Annihilate. Reflect will go off, no Protect from other side. Hey, what's gonna happen here? Knockoff will go into the Goldango. Does this KO? Oh, not quite! So close. 19% remaining on this Dango. But Flash Cannon's gonna go up into the Goldango, securing the KO. Goldango, one of the best damage dealers from Helix's squad, is gone. It did no damage this entire game. Right, the pressure is being put on. We do have the Reflect, and we can set up this light screen next turn. Sinisha's gonna hit the field here. Sinisha hitting the field is very interesting. Makes me wonder what her back Pokemon is. The back Pokemon may be a bit afraid, a bit worried about taking a Knockoff here. Something to note is that no one on Helix's squad has a Cola Berry. So when it comes to taking Knockoffs, they're not gonna have a great time pretty much no matter what. Knockoff again! So much damage, 62% into the Citrus and knocking off the Citrus Berry. That is a huge deal. That is a humongous deal. Machigacha's gonna whip! Machigacha's gonna whip and now being able to get the burn cheese! And this Archaudon is still free to do whatever it wants. What's it gonna go for? The burn will connect, but again, Archaudon is a physical attacker, so that's not a big deal for specifically Archaudon here. What's he gonna go for? Is this Dragon Pulse? Flash Cannon again. Does this KO Sinistcha? Oh! Nick West, you are massively ahead in this first game. 2 Pokemon down. You barely taken anything. Mawile is still at full health. Gengar will hit the field. Now we do have the Shadow Tag as an option here. Shadow Tag could potentially box these opponents in. Something worth noting as well is that in terms of Trick Room, there's only one more turn of this Trick Room. Very real chance that they just go for a, maybe like an Encore and a Protect. Granted, the Sableye does not have Protect itself, only the Gengar does. So will Sableye be able to survive what's potentially a double up into them? They have the screen, sure, but Sableye is not a bulky Pokemon. Encore will go off into this Mawile, forcing it to continuously go for these knockoffs, but that's not going to do much for us here. I mean, it dinks out the Protect. Oh! No! No, it will do something here, chat. This will do something here. Chat, the thing about going for Shadow Tag, or having the Shadow Tag and going for Encore into the Malwa means that this turn, chat, you're going to be able to use Disable. Disable onto the Malwa will be extremely disruptive because it can't go for any other attacks. So it's going to have to struggle right now. Encore again into the Archaeodon. Looks like we could be going for this Encore Disable Lock into the Archaeodon, but still, Gengar could be taking a beating from this arc, from this bridge. Flash Cannon will go off though. It'll do 39%, which is still pretty good damage. So pretty darn good damage here. A Malwa being struggle walked right now is not what we want to see. Right, but I mean, in terms of an attacking move, right, you have that Shadow Ball on the Gengar. Gengar unfortunately not able to go for Perish Song safely or for presumably the rest of the game. It's gonna reflect again because yeah, we can't really do anything as Sableye here. It's just a sitting duck while Gengar chooses to clear the composition. I mean, this is still a really good spot. We were up 4-2, but still just this Encore Disable Rock. Oh, that's a lot of damage on the struggle actually. That's a lot of damage on the struggle. That is... Encore ends. Encore ends. You don't have any priority moves as this Mawile specifically, unfortunately, does not have the Sucker Punch. And we definitely do not want to be Encore again, so we might just protect this turn, but if we protect, it could just be over. Bit of a mind game here. Klefki, can it do the damage necessary to clear out this Gengar? Or is Gengar just going to protect this turn? These are the kind of mind games you just have to play with the Perish team. It's so terrifying. Besides really being deliberate here, Gengar's gonna protect. Do the opponents match this protect? Does Midwest match this protect? Encore gonna fail. Oh, Valplay's gonna dink out the protect. This is very scary because Gengar could just disable this Pokemon next turn. Play off though! Play off the target! Going to target the Sableye here! Oh my gosh, what a call! What a call from Midwest, taking down the Sableye and creating a spot where Midwest is at game point. Welcome in, Rainer, saying, come on, Helix. You got a Helix fan in the chat. Let's go, let's go. Apple on the other hand, I'm rooting for Mega Mawile. We got a bit of a crowd war here. Second coming of Dinosaur versus says, girl, move your head. I am blocking a bit of the screen here. I am blocking a bit of the screen. Let me try something. Let me try something. Let me do a little bit of... Oh! Perfect. We're gonna be in the corner. All right, 1-0. 1-0 for Midwest here. We're actually gonna jump right into game 2. I did not expect them just immediately just bounce in like this, but Helix wants to run back, has an idea for this next game. Midwest, you know, I mean, Midwest just won the first game, right? So they're gonna feel pretty confident going into this next one. What I am curious about though, what I am very curious about, do we go Annihilate here? Because yes, Annihilate hits the Archaeodon for super effective damage for sure, right? You hit the Archaeodon super effective. You hit what could potentially be the Aggron, the Empoleon, the Lucario. You're always hitting something for super effective. But oh my gosh, is that play rough from Mawile just horrifying, terrifying here. And we're not a Focus Sash Annihilate. We are a leftovers bulky one. But that bulk would not be enough to survive a Mawile play rough. Mawile, Archaeodon hit the floor as Intimidate connects on both the Sableye and Gengar. Unfortunately, not going to be doing that much. You are pressuring the opponent's field right now with this Shadow Tag. And because we are leading Gengar, we are going to have access to that Perish Song instead of in the back where we didn't have that option. This first turn is always just so mind-gamey because you have the ability to Encore Disable the follow-up one. The following turn rather. Do we just rip a play rough into Sableye? We could do that. Cause the Sableye does not have a Roselia Berry, even if the Reflect is up. Play rough is just gonna do way too much damage for that Sableye to take. Like maybe swap out here, maybe swap out into the Dango, but Mawile is gonna be the one to swap actually. Wait, what? What's happening here? He's gonna come in. Fake out goes into the Klefki slot. What's Gengar going for? It doesn't Mega Evolve. Wait, Gengar didn't Mega Evolve? Wait, what? Wait, what? Why? What's this play? That's over half. That's so much damage. That's so much damage. We do disable the Flash Cannon, but look at that. Gengar, our only Mega Pokemon, potential Mega Pokemon on this squad, taking so much of its health early. Curse Body could be valuable, but things just got way more difficult. Got a huge tear down here. Helix may have to rethink a number of the turns. You really do not want to take damage early as Gengar because it messes up with your control playstyle. Aerial Trap is a playstyle that really thrives off of early momentum, but also on the other hand, really does not like to be on the back foot. We're gonna see our counter actually swap out for Empoleon. Is this an encore into the... This could be an encore into the Arcaldon swap, but this swap here could be exactly what we need to punish that. Encore! They went for Encore, but the swap is exactly what you were looking for. Shadow Ball is gonna go into the Klefki, will secure the KO, but being able to just really mess up and make things difficult for this Gengar, we do like that. We do like that. Now, Second Coming is noting that the non-Mega Evolution could be a misinput. That is a very fair thing because, you know, Curse Body is nice, but it's not like you're feigning a second Mega on this solo Ghost type team. But Helix still having the Pokemon lead. This could still be alright. He says, hello, he's another best YouTuber I see here. Great to see you, Beard. I'm glad to see you here. We are tuned into very intense sets right now. Both players deliberating what they want to do here. The protects, yeah, I was really expecting some kind of protect. Because now you can threaten the Encore Disable. Light Skin's gonna go off into two special attackers. This could be the bulk that Sableye needs to survive this turn. Electro Shot. Electro Shot. Wait, did we just, oh my god. We might have went for Electro Shot, chat, to punish the potential protect. Because Electro Shot's a 2-turn move. Now we're going to be doing a shit ton of damage into this right slot. This could be really scary for Helix here. I don't know what our last Pokemon here, but it could be the Basculegion, it could be the Annihilate. Nothing really on the squad wants to take a +1 Electro Shot though. Such an intense game that my eyes are just blinking. The screen is turning black. Gengar's gonna swap out. Who's their back one? Sinistcha could be the electric resistance we need. As Reflect goes up, we're just gonna get the second screen. Second screen is gonna be a huge deal, but you know, always nice. Here's that Electro Shot into the same blue! Oh, that's so much damage! I was expecting the Electro Shot into the Gengar slot. It was like Helix was as well. Flash Cannon though gonna be neutral damage into this right slot. McWest really showing that they really took the time to think about this matchup, take it step by step, understand what the Gengar player is thinking, what they want to do. Electro Shot though will be encored, so we could at least protect against it this next turn. The question is though, will we be doing enough damage with Sinistcha to properly dispose of this Empoleon? We're gonna see Machigata do pretty much almost nothing. This is looking pretty difficult. You do get the burn. That passive damage will actually be a big deal. Stamina boost will not matter too much though. Oh, Surf! That's gonna be getting that KO on the Sableye and decent chip on Sinistcha. Not a lot actually. Barely any chip at all on the Sinistcha, if I can be real. But what this does, chat, it means that we can't get disabled. Our flash cannon specifically can't get disabled this turn. On this following turn, Helix is very likely to protect plus protect. The question is, do we have enough health to carry through the rest of this game? Because remember, chat, there is still a full HP Mawile in the back. This Mawile has not taken a lick of damage. And that very well means even if you get a critical hit Shadow Ball, it may not be enough. We'll go for Protect at least for now, though. Yeah, double Protect, just trying to create a disable play next turn. Ultra Shot, though, we'll get dinked off of this Protect. It is worth noting, though, that we have to take out this Archaudon immediately. Like we, oh, Flash Cannon, my bad. I just want to see something. Is this, yeah. This Pokemon is +2, so taking out Archaudon is going to be first priority. But is McWest going to let that happen? Is you're just so likely to click Protect this turn as the Archaudon. Archaudon, for reference, does have this Protect. So it's just so likely that you go for like a Protect Flash Cannon this turn. And because he was already double protected, I don't know if they're going to have the sustain to really go through the rest of this game. Shadow Ball will at least take out the Archaudon now, but you're just so likely to get traded out by this Flash Cannon here. Gotcha will go off. It's going to be a bit of chip. But, I don't know about this because Flash Cannon just goes off and you're surely taking out the Gengar with this, right? Oh! Chat. I've seen some crazy comebacks. If Helix can come back from this disastrous turn 1 and turn this set into a game 3, Helix will be marked as one of the most incredible players in my mind forever. I mean, you have the tools, you have the disable, you have the protect, you have the redirection as well. A lot of mind game potential here. The problem is, right, both sides have protect, so they have to make the call. Are we willing to let the Empoleon go down to what's potentially a Shadow Ball into it as soon as it Rage Powders the knockoff and survives? Or are we going to protect this turn? Mawile first, going to Mega Evolve. Again, it is full HP, so you're gonna need 2 Shadow Balls to take this Pokemon out. Can we create the opportunity for a Shadow Ball, though? Shadow Ball! No protects! Empoleon's dead! Empoleon's not dead, chat. Empoleon's not dead. Oh my god, the Machikata Whiff 2! Disaster has struck in this game too, chat. Service gonna connect the both targets, get the 1-hit KO on the Gengar. And the crit on the Sinistcha for good measure. Oh my god. Knockoff, as you know, will not KO based on the damage that we did in the last game, but we needed that 1-hit KO. We absolutely needed that KO there. Gudingo though! I forgot about Gudingo! No. All this time, chat, I thought that was the last 2 Pokemon, but Helix has misdirected me once again. Just like how Helix did to take me out from the tournament. All this time, the Gholdengo was patiently waiting for the moment to strike, and that's gonna give Helix this game 2 victory! Oh my god, chat, I have been bamboozled. I thought that was the last 2 Pokemon. But no, the cheese stick never dies, chat. Oh my god. That was incredible positioning. Absolutely outstanding positioning from Helix there. Basically playing the equivalent of a 3v4 for so long just to make sure that Gholdengo could do what it needed to do. Oh my gosh, chat. That was phenomenal. Now chat, here is the question. This is what their 6 versus 6 is looking like, chat. We have seen a number of Pokemon not come to the sets yet. We have not seen the Basculegion. We have not seen the Annihilate. We've not seen the Lucario, the Aggron. When both players' backs are behind the wall, will they make the adjustment that's needed? Second comment says, your commentating is getting high tech. Yeah, great to hear. Is this tournament today? We're hosting the day 2 of the mono-type tournament right now. But the NU tournament, the Never Use Cup tournament that I'm hosting Sunday, is still set for Sunday. Alright. Gonna be the Sableye Gengar lead once again against this Klefki Mawile. Now last time the a Pokemon was there. The Empoleon was there on the lead, and it went for a huge amount of damage to this Gengar. But it's unlucky. It's unlikely that Helix is gonna let that happen again. Mega Evolution here. Mega Evolution protects. Very, very likely play right now. Very, very likely play. Oh, huh? Well, Encore? What? Oh no. Oh, that might be a misinput, chat. Perish will go off, but oh, this is terrifying. Did we attack this Gengar? If we attack this Gengar, things might be. Oh no! Oh no! A disastrous potential misinput strikes again! We clicked Encore turn 0 when we absolutely definitely meant to click Fake out there. We have Encore pressure into the Klefki at least, but oh, that's not what we want to see. Plus, they're just so likely to go for swap. We swap. We swapped. We swapped for Sinistra. We swapped for Sinistra to get the HP back. Very understandable, but what did we go for on the Mawile slots? You have to protect your Gengar. You have to protect. You must protect. Protect from the Klefki. Protect to block a potential Encore, but that could have been really, really dangerous. We're matching protects right now. What did Mawile go for? Wait, that's a lot of damage! That's a lot of damage here, chat. That's a lot of damage! Something that at least favors us here, though, is that because the Trick Room is up, Gengar is going to be the slowest Pokemon here, so we at least have that. It's not necessarily the most important thing, though, because I mean, everyone's just kind of on the field anyway, but like there's still Pokemon left in the back. It's not like it's like a last 2 versus 2 situation. Mawile and Klefki here. Gengar's gonna swap. Wait, Gengar's gonna swap. Hey, it could be a knockoff. Goes into the Sableye right now. Oh, potentially. Oh, Rage Powder. This could be a double attack between the Klefki and the Mawile. Knockoff. Gonna get the KO there due to that player of damage earlier. Ooh. As Foul Play connects into the Sableye. This is a pretty good spot, though. This is a pretty good spot. As Apple brought up, Sinistra going down means that we can swap Gengar back in, and it's actually creates a position where both of Midwest's Pokemon are going to faint to this Perish song. But this Sableye doesn't have Protect, so the move you quick into the Sableye could mean everything here. I think if you go for knockoff, or if you encore the Mawile now as Sableye, you can force it to wait a second. Fake out. Oh my god, we fake out. Oh my god. Klefki's just gonna Rain Dance. They're gonna Rain Dance so that when their Arcaludon hits the field, it's gonna have immediate Electroshots. But Gengar hitting the field immediately like this is terrifying. Goldango hitting this field immediately is very terrifying. This is one of the hardest hitting special attackers in the game. Is being able to come in full HP like this as our best Goldango answer faints. It's not looking good if you're McWest. Hey. And here's their back line between Empoleon and Arcaludon. You have 3 Pokemon to chew through if you're McWest here. On one end, you are going to have to rain for the rest of the game. But on the other end, an Encore Disable Lock can really shut things down right now. The protect calls are going to have to be so important here. But the problem is, if you protect this McWest, you're going to get Encore locked by that Sableye right now. The Sableye has to go pop. But the Light Skin's going to make that even harder, chats. Flash Cannon, gonna dink over that protect. I'm assuming this is an Electro Shot from the Arcaludon. Yes, it is. But where are we going into? Oh, this might be into the Goldango. It's into the Goldango! What a protect! What a protect by Helix! Stalling out what could be a crucial turn of rain and just not taking any damage on this turn in general. Always gonna appreciate that. Now we have the option to Encore lock this Empoleon into Flash Cannon, meaning that it won't be able to go for those Encore or those rain boosted Surfs. What's the call here? We're gonna Encore, yep, Encore into that Empoleon, so it's not gonna be able to go for Surf for a very long time. A Shadow Ball connects into the Arcaludon. This is gonna do a shit ton of damage. Arcaludon at 19% HP. Helix potentially able to taste the finals here, able to taste this 2-1 victory. Do have the Electro Shot going off, but now that our Empoleon is locked into Flash Cannon here, not the very high damage dealing Surf, are we going to be able to make it out? The big problem, chat, is that both Goldango and Gengar are faster than McWest's Pokemon here. Oh, says at least the special attack boost is still threatening. That is a good point. We're gonna have to make a couple incredible calls to claw back this game, but could be possible. If we call the Protect McWest's end, there is no Encore left. Taking out the table means that I don't have Encore. So for example here, if we go for a Flash Cannon into this Gengar as it Shadow Balls the Arcaludon, things could be Jover. Oh no! The Disable is going to prevent any chance of a Flash Cannon play. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Great thinking. Great thinking by Helix. Even though the set was extremely back and forth, chat, there were great calls on both ends. There were great plays. There were recovery from misplays. At the end of all the fire here, Helix will be the one. Almost moving on to the finals. Oh, just struggle real quick for me. Come on, struggle. Just you struggle. Yep. Here you go. Come on, quick. Yep. Helix is gonna be the one moving on to finals, chat. That was a very bloody, very bloody set on our hands. GG. Big GG to both McWest and Helix. Rainer brought up in the chat that Helix is one of the best players that they know, and we definitely were able to see why there, chat. Very impressive stuff in that first semifinal game. Chat. For reference, this is what the bracket is currently looking like, because it's just, you know, semifinals and then finals. A pretty short and sweet bracket on our hands. I see 2 Soda Redeems on it. Yes, Hero is currently getting that victory against Mick West. But next chat, we're going to have Moji, the Dragon Tamer, versus Lunar, the fairy wielding fairy tale chat. Dragon versus fairy. This is one of the hardest possible matchups you could pull as a fairy type trainer. Or as a dragon type trainer. One of the best matchups you could pull as a fairy type trainer, but question is, who will be able to break through? Can this Dragon Tamer pull what's essentially a miracle? Chat, I'm gonna be with you for about 5 minutes, but once I am back, we're going to break down the backgrounds of Moji Lunar, show off what some of their background is like so you can understand them as players too. One moment, everybody, 1 moment. Also, I see those Soda Redeems. I see ya. I see ya. Right.
So I got into competitive Pokemon actually because of the Indigo Disc DLC for Scarlet and Violet. I knew going into it dimly that it was like, oh, this is the VGC DLC. This is the one where they do competitive stuff. And I went into it and lost miserably because I have played every generation the exact same way as I did when I was playing Gen 1 on my Game Boy as a little kid, which is hyper casual, pick 6 Pokemon that I like, 4 attacking moves, all stab. and Indigo Disc beat me up. I remember it took me like over a day to beat Crispin. I got grumpy about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and learn how to play the game now. I didn't go straight to like learning about teams, but I just learned like, oh, abilities matter. Maybe sometimes you should use moves that don't do damage. And I had a lot of fun with it, obviously. I got through the DLC, was just desperate for more. Eventually stumbled onto, we have a pretty good local VGC scene where I live. They turned me on to like the Cybertron videos and Wolfie VGC and all those other big YouTubers. And they do such a good job of recapping the history and making everything all exciting and cool. So I tooled around a little bit with Scarlet and Violet's online, made some silly teams, did badly because I don't make teams. And yeah, it just has become one of my favorite games. I like competitive gaming just in general. So once I understood how Pokemon worked, it was pretty quick for me to get into it. I found out about DonutsVGC through the Hatteran series Limitless tournaments. They are a inclusive group that does tournaments for women, female presenting individuals, to sort of make it a bit friendlier. It can be a little spooky sometimes going into competitive spaces online. Some of those places have their reputations for a reason. So I entered a couple of those tournaments, and just somewhere in there, Donuts was talking about doing some fun events, just some like practice sessions. Got into that Discord, and I've just kind of been hanging around. And now there's been cool, fun events like this Monotype Gym Leader thing. I joined the Monotype tournament largely because of branding. I think if it was just called a Monotype tournament, I would have said, that sounds really cool. You guys have fun. But it was pitched more as a like, let's all be gym leaders. And I was like, oh, that's fun. I'll be a dragon gym leader. I'll pick 6 dragons and lose to 6-year-olds. Yeah, I think there's a lot of the fun stuff just needs a little bit of a spin to be more fun. Because I'm not a great team builder. I don't really play the game for team building personally. So if I was just told, hey, it's a team building challenge, I'd probably have just backed out of it. But when it's like, hey, the challenge is you can play 6 dragons, and everyone else will be playing 6 of the same thing, so it's kind of fair. Like, oh, okay, I'll play that. My team on the first day, my team on the second day are both functionally the same team. I have a brand to adhere to. I'm not leaving my dragons behind. And I actually found a core of 4 that works pretty well. It's a Mega Dragonite, Noivern, Garchomp, Hisuian Gudra core. And then the other 2 are kind of just flex spots that don't really matter. They're just there to cover some really unfortunate matchups that the other 4 have. The team is very linear. You tend to you send out your Noivern and your Garchomp. Noivern Dragon Cheers the Garchomp, who now has a 100% crit chance. Garchomp just starts kicking butt and taking names left and right. Whatever's left, Dragonite sweeps up. Whatever's left after that, Gudra refuses to get knocked out by. It works shockingly well. I've been trialing it out on just the ladder, and it works remarkably well even there. I hesitantly say it's actually worth trying out if you like silly fun teams. If I were a Pokemon, the Pokemon I would want to be, I mean Dragonite, right? You get to be big and cuddly and cute and soft and also cool and fast and strong. He's got everything. Dragonite is the Pokemon with everything. That's probably the whole answer. I'm trying to think, like, is there some cute, like, extra answer? No, it's Dragonite. Dragonite's the best Pokemon. Easy. Besides doing Pokemon, I really like just competitive gaming in general. I do a lot of trading card games. I do a lot of raiding, specifically Final Fantasy XIV. I used to do a lot of like challenge stuff in Destiny. I used to love solo dungeons in Destiny 2. All kinds of stuff. I will always find some kind of game to try too hard at. Outside of gaming, I'm really big on music. I can look to my left and see just a rack of like 8 guitars and basses. I am very lucky to work in music and kind of be surrounded by it most days. It's probably my greatest actual passion, but my free time is games, and that's what we're here for.
Everyone, I hope you had a great time listening to Moji, listening to Moji's background there. We got to understand a lot about, how Moji came to the scene and just everything about them, their team, how they came about VGC as a whole, how they came to this tournament, and some of the theories behind their team. Very, very cool stuff. Amazing, 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 amazing stuff. We're gonna see here, Moji's gonna be facing an opponent that is going to get them a pretty darn tricky matchup in Lunar. Lunar here also, sets in some answers as well, just so that we can understand Lunar's background better here, saying, how do you get into the competitive Pokemon? Lunar's saying, I've been a spectator for a long time, honestly. It seems like an impossible time. League up until the announcing the champions, which, totally understandable. And it's very fun because apparently her girlfriend also plays Splatoon. Splatoon, incredibly fun Nintendo game. Super cool to see that. It looks like Lunar found about me through the VGC Girls and Day server, which is very, very cool. And it looks like she joined it because of that mono-type tournament, which is super cool to see. And they joined mono-type as a whole. So interesting. So cool. Inconsistent teams that, one of the reasons that inconsistent teams can really shine in something like mono-type, and you can also just have a lot more fun. Totally agree with that. It looks like they were talking about some of the theories behind how she came with the teams here, bringing up Klefki ideas. We get hard Trick Room, and as Lunar mentions here, she's gonna be playing pretty much the same thing here, pretty much the same thing as day one, rocking this fairy type team based around hard Trick Room. We're gonna have the Grimmsnarl as a attacker, as a damage dealer. We usually don't see Grimmsnarl as the one doing huge damage, but be careful of that assurance chat backed with this Hatterene Dazzling Gleam. Extremely, extremely threatening. Very, 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 very threatening. We're gonna be on the lookout for that, but also here, chat, Alchemy with Iron Ball. Funnily enough, chat, I just streamed some games using Alchemy with this almost the exact same set. The Iron Ball, yep, the Decorate Alchemy Protector Wing Voice. I actually got the idea for Iron Ball Alchemy from Lunar and from this mono-type tournament. And I have, of course, as you could tell, if you watched the stream earlier, I had a ton of fun using it. I have a ton of fun just practicing Alchemy and getting the user in general. So very creative ideas are Lunar here, but on the other hand, not to be mistaken here on the creativity end, we have Moji, aka Bridget. Oh my goodness, chat. Can you believe it? Can you believe we got Fairy vs Dragon? This is gonna make it all the more cooler if Moji ends up winning, chat. I'm gonna let both players know that they can win. But yeah, just breaking down this team, chat. We're gonna have 2 Dragon and Flying types here in that Noivern, in that Dragonite here, but they do pretty different things. Dragonite going to be the Mega Evolution here, rocking 3 attacks and protects, while Noivern's gonna be the one rocking that Tailwind. But we're gonna see a very cool move, chat. A very, very cool move that you don't see often in competitive play because it's usually just not that great to stack Dragon types. The Dragon Cheer. Noivern is exceptionally fast, so being able to use what could be Dragon Cheer on something like a Garchomp as it goes for Earthquake and Skull Points as well can be a ton of damage that the opponents really have to respect, even if they are fairy types. We're also going to see the combo with the Wide Lens here, rocking both Draco Meter and Scale Shot. It's going to be a mixed attacker combo. This is something you do not see pretty much at all. I don't think I've ever seen a mixed attacker combo here, so it's phenomenally interesting. Also here the Archaludon. It's gonna be an Archaludon with stamina and the Chople Berry to help with the fighting weaknesses. Something important here, something important to note, chat, is that they have 2 Dragon and Steel types. And 2 Dragon and Steel types mean that if you can get this Guja Hisui, if you can get the Archaludon in position to rip damage, you know, they're not going to be feeling that very weakness too much. In fact, they're going to be hitting up for super effective damage. So I don't think this is a matchup that's going to be as lights out as it may seem, chat. Raiden does bring up that Mawile will have to watch out for Earthquake, which is a 100% totally agreed with that. Earthquake from this Garchomp is not only going to be hitting for super effective, but if you lead that Noivern plus Garchomp combo and get that Dragon Cheer onto Garchomp, critical hit Earthquake is absolutely going to be one-shotting a Mawile. Let's see how this first game goes, everybody. How this first game goes. Moonlight Shuriken, thank you for the pop up. Thanks so much. We are tuned into the second set of semifinals for this mono-type tournament. It's going to be a Grimmsnarl plus Hatterene lead, as that Noivern Garchomp lead that we talked about is going to be servicing here, is going to be sent to fruition. This is super interesting because you absolutely, under no circumstances, want this Hatterene to be setting up Trick Room. But how do you stop really with this kind of lead? Because look at that, the fake out goes into the Garchomp. Trick Room is all but inevitable at this point. Noivern, how are you gonna try and stop this? Noivern's gonna go for the air slash flinch could be enormous here. And gets the flinch! Oh, does not get the flinch. Wait, what? Did it get the flinch? Oh no, no, it did not get the flinch. I apologize. But the only Pokemon that should be apologizing here is the Noivern, because it really need to get that air slash flinch. Now this spot is extremely difficult because you just have to stall these protects, right? But because the combination of Dazzling Gleam and really anything this Grimmsnarl can do is just gonna hurt so bad. Just you are really set on the back foot here. One of the weaknesses that we're seeing with the style, with the type that Moji has chosen here, is that you don't have fake out, you don't have redirection with Mono Dragon. You have a shit ton of damage for sure. But when you need to play defense like this, you're only really going to be relying on the protects. Now granted, right? Very likely a swap into Guja Hisui here. Oh, yep, right on the mark. We're just gonna let Noivern explode to what could be this double up between Dazzling Gleam and Assurance. Because yes, Noivern does have that Focus Sash, but not to be forgotten, this Grimmsnarl has 120 base attack for a reason. It's going to be hitting like a truck. And Assurance, so much damage! Guja left at 17%. That's the thing about Assurance, chat. Grimmsnarl, not a Pokemon that you expect to be hitting this hard, but Assurance doubles in power if the opponent has already taken damage in the turn. What that means is that you're hitting this Guja Hisui with a 120 base attack, 100 base power move. We're gonna protect again this turn most likely, but really, how are we going to sustain through this remaining turns of Trick Room? That's a question. We're just gonna need to come out big here, but the problem with this is that Hatterene is slower. If both these Pokemon are running minimum seed, Hatterene is going to be slower than Guja here. So Guja, I don't think it can take this hit. Can it take this hit? No, it cannot. No, it cannot. Now on one end, Trick Room pretty much going to be gone here. But however, Hatterene has just not taken any damage. It is not taking any damage. As we see here, one more turn of Trick Room, so protect, very likely. Problem is, can we secure this KO on this Hatterene this next turn? Because yes, we do have the Steel type damage with the Flash Cannon as our Archaludon here, but this Primarine is going to be doing a shit ton of damage if we just focus down this Hatterene. Plus, there's always the protect. There's always the protect mind games to respect. Really, both of these squads. Protect. I just have to right now. Garchomp, I will say Garchomp is in the back, so if we can get a Dragon Cheer off as Hatterene goes down this next turn, we can absolutely have a game on our hands. Oh! Wait, we're gonna let Noivern. No, Noivern couldn't protect. Yeah, Noivern could not protect. The Calm Mind from Prim. This Calm Mind means that a +1 Hybrid Voice is very, very likely to KO our Cowdon just right off the gates. Things are looking difficult. Things are looking extremely difficult. We're going to need to somehow KO this Hatterene and this Primarina both in one hit. Can we do that with the offense we have? I don't even know if a double critical hit can necessarily do it, but maybe if we can combine it with the Flash Cannon. We have to try. This is the semifinals. We're here for a reason. There's a protect from Hatterene. Garchomp, what do you go for? Poison Jab, but it gets dinked from the protect. Thunderbolt will go into the Prim, doing some damage, but that +1 Calm Mind means that that's not enough. +1 Moonblast is gonna absolutely blow up this Garchomp. Our Cowdon left the solo, a team of 4 fairy types, and it has zero way of boosting its own special defense, chat. If we're Moji here, we might be looking towards a game 2 at this point. Protect will go off in the Prim. Hatterene free to do whatever they please, potentially, but the Flash Cannon could KO here. It does KO, it does KO, it does KO. However, we only have access to single target moves. As is our Cowdon, we have no way of KOing both the left and the right Pokemon. We have to sustain to go through the rest of this game. Grimstar hitting the field does mean that we have fake outs as an option, so yes, naturally we just have to protect for this first turn, but do we go for Calm Mind? We go for Calm Mind! What a call! What a call! Lunar with their Primarina now at +2 attack and +2 special attack and +2 special defense. It's gonna be incredibly difficult to take down. We need insane amount of lucks to even make this game playable. But we don't even know what the back Pokemon is. Flash Cannon gonna go into the Grimmsnarl. With this +2 special attack, Primarina is free to do whatever it pleases. Moonblast! I don't think we're surviving this even if we're full HP! Not a shot! We're gonna be going into game 2. Everyone, game 2. Ooh. We are seeing a difficult matchup for sure. Moonlight Shuriken, thank you for the sub! Thank you so much! Oh my god, thank you! Moonlight Shuriken, you are, I'm pretty sure, first sub ever? That's so kind, in the heart too! Oh my god. Oh my god. Hearts in the chat, hearts in the chats for Moonlight Shuriken, thank you! Moonlight, we are tapped in to cinema right now. Trainer remarking it's likely over for Dragon Trainer. The Dragon Tamer, rather. Dragon Tamer. This is gonna be hard. As we know, a lot of pride on the Dragon. Typing on Moji's ends. Mono Fairy just does not play here. All that super effective damage combined with the Trick Room speed control is just remarkably difficult here. We're really going to need this combination of Hisuian Gudra and our Cowdon to come online. Something we could try is leading both Hisuian Gudra and our Cowdon to pressure steel type damage no matter what into the Guja Hisui. You can also go for Garchomp with Hisui and Guja, or Arcaludon and try to go for that poison type steel type pin. Will that be enough? Gaming All-Star! Thank you for the follow. You are our 50th follower. Thanks so much. Gaming All-Star asked, does anyone want to fight me on Pokemon Champions? Yo, anyone in chat? I mean, if you want to play during this tournament set, yo, Gaming All-Star is looking for an opponent. And we saw on the mainstream here, chat. Oh, we have a game. It might have actually immediately started already. I was behind here. My bad, chat. Let's see. Rainer remarks that if they had a fairy resistant fairy, it would be slightly easier, which 100% agreed. Some way to slow down this fairy type pressure is so Moonlight Shuriken gets it 5 subs! Moonlight Shuriken! Oh my god, that's incredible! Thank you for the 5 gifted. Thanks so much! Oh my god, you're gonna get a valley of hearts, a mountain of hearts! Thank you, Moonlight Shuriken. Thanks so much. I hella appreciate that. Hella. That's incredibly cool to see. And also what's incredibly cool to see, the chat. And it's these beautiful subs that Moonlight Shuriken just gave us is a beautiful turn from Moji here, getting a double knockout. A double knockout, chat, on their Trick Room lead. Chat, we saw how difficult it was for Moji to answer that Grimmsnarl plus Hatterene lead, but clearly she found the answer with this double steel type combo. Now the Backmons will be revealed. The Mimikyu, the Primarina. Mimikyu here spotting Trick Room as well. Well, it's really going to be captivating here is that Drain Punch that Mimikyu is spotting. Drain Punch very likely to pick up a KO on this Arcaludon, but it's so hard to say. Arcaludon being at 36%. Oh. Arcaludon was at 36% there, but the Protect from Dragonite just trying to stall the Trick Room turns for now. As Calm Mind goes off. Calm Mind for the Prim, gonna make it a lot easier for this Pokemon to sustain itself through these special attackers. Storm Stance for the Mimikyu, but this Arcaludon has yet to move. It's gonna go for Thunderbolt into the Prim, but again, that +1 special attack. Even though we got those KOs on the lead, chat, we are now in heaps of trouble. While this Mimikyu doesn't have any super effective fairy type attacks to go for, +2 Drain Punch will surely get this KO on this Arcaludon here. That combined with the Hyper Voice from Primarina, not Hyper Voice, sorry, a Moonblast from the Primarina, it could spell Lights Out. Problem is though, will +1 Moonblast KO. Here's the thing, chat. Here is the thing. This Dragonite has multi-scale. So if it stays full HP here, that's a beautiful shiny. Oh my god. That was beautiful. That was majestic. Oh my god. But if it stays full HP, it could survive this Moonblast. Let's see. Multi-scale versus +1 Moonblast. It tanks it. Mimikyu, who are you targeting? Mimikyu gonna go for that Drain Punch, but again, the Chople Berry. It's +2 attack versus Chople Berry versus Stamina Boost. It tanks it with absolute ease, chat. Chople Berry. Thunderbolt connects. It's gonna be good damage to the Prim. Prim getting very low. Even though we have that Calm Mind activated. One more super effective attack will take us out here. We're gonna see the Flamethrower break that disguise. Very good. Breaking disguise here means that we can protect this turn, and from there have a massive speed advantage thanks to Trick Room being over. Trick Room, incredible into Moji's team, incredible at slowing down Moji's team. But the use of her steel types on this Mono Dragon team, it's clearly putting her into this game, and honestly putting her ahead in this game, being up 3 Pokemon to 2 and now having massive speed control to work with. Pre-Runner may go for another Calm Mind here. Oh, goes for the Moonblast. Oh no. That's gonna make things difficult. If we went for Calm Mind that turn, reading the double protect, we could claw our way back because we would be +2/+2. Now things are looking quite difficult, chat. Prowess is not going to be our friends here. There's a full pair may just be checkmate, but Shadow Sneak from +2. Mimikyu doesn't get the KO. It does not get the KO. Air Slash going to connect on the Mimikyu though. Very solid damage there. Splash Cannon doubles up, takes out the Mimikyu. We're leaving the Primarina free to attack. A Primarina Moonblast could do a ton here. And it just Hyper Voice. Water type Hyper Voice gets up the double KO. Who is this back Pokemon? This back Pokemon needs to KO this Primarina. What could potentially be one shot. Bahamut! Bahamut the Garchomp hits the field as I drink soda. Yummy. Thank you, Ron. That was delicious. Primarina just going to protect first. Oh, that poison jab. Super effective poison jab. It's probably just going to be the damage we need, but chat. 52%. 52%. This whole set is riding on if this Garchomp can get this KO with poison jab here. It does! Poison jab picks up the KO against the leftovers Prim, and this Dragon versus Fairy type matchup that looks so terrible, so awful, so unplayable is now in a game 3. Everything on the line for both of these trainers. Whoever goes on, whoever wins this next game heads to the finals. Can this Dragon Tamer show the experience needed to overcome such a horrendous matchup? In last game, right, we saw that Steel type was Steel type lead. We're trying to counter that as winner here. You could be winning the Mimikyu. We're just gonna have to see, chat. We're immediately heading into it. Hatterene and Grimmsnarl once again as Moji, the beloved, the dedicated Dragon user, leads this double C lead again. Rainer says, "Imagine dragons." Oh my god. Oh my god. Another soda with you from Apple? I got you. A fake out from the Grimmsnarl. We're gonna stop that Hisui and Guja from moving. Flash Cannon gonna be doing a shit tons of Premier. Oh my god, that almost one shot! That almost one shot! That was one shot! How? Oh my god. That insane amount of damage. Now it means Hatterene's likely only gonna get one singular attack the rest of this game. And that combined with the amazing protect usage from Moji means that Luna's gonna have to get really creative here. As a side, hello Shadow, welcome to the chat. We are in the midst of a crazy semifinals match in this one type tournament. Welcome in. Parting shot's gonna go off into this Archaudon. As the Primarina hits the field, we're going to immediately send out Primarina here. Hey. As Hatterene gets off what could potentially be their last Dazzling Gleam, gets Archaudon on the half of its health. But Gudra gonna be taken out with East Shelter! Shelter gonna be used. Well, Shelter is not gonna help with the double special attackers on the field. if Lunar has that Mimikyu in the back, that Mimikyu, then Hisui Gudra is going to be incredibly difficult to KO. Because Gudra Hisui is a special tank, doubling its defenses means that it is just going to be so hard to KO. It's going to be so fat, not be able to be stopped. And that combined with this great protect usage means that we're going to be really far behind in this game. It brings up that both of these dragon types are hella slow. Hisui and Gudra definitely a slow Pokemon. I don't know if this specific Hisui and Gudra is trained to be very slow because it is the bold nature. But it could help. It could still help. Yep, protect from the Arcalodon. Hisui and Gudra is actually getting aggressive here. Aerof gonna dink off of that protect. What's Gudra going for? As Premier to Calm Minds. This could be a flash cannon, but into what slot? A body press! It's body press into the Mawile, another +2, taking the Mawile to halfway down, chat. On the follow-up one. Aerof is gonna go off. We're trying to get anything we can into this Gudra, but it's just too fat. It can't go down. The double attack, every single resource is being thrown at this Gudra, but it stays standing while Mawile gets flattened to the ground. Gudra, the missing link for this matchup to turn it from unplayable to absolutely outstanding. Just one more turn of Trick Room. Primarina is praying for a miracle at this point. We could go for Calm Minds here, but is that going to be enough? Pick out Calm Mind is a play that we did see wrap up the first game. With this Trick Room ending, do we have the firepower to go through 4 tremendous dragon types? Apple says pack it up. Apple really confident that Moji's gonna be the one to take this 3rd game. Calm Mind goes off from the Primarina as Loki connects into the Hisui and Gudra to just take it out, to just take out this troublemaker. Yeah, the middling speeds here from Arcalodon here is going to be quite pesterous now that the Trick Room is over. 3 more Pokemon, 3 more dragons remain in Moji's stead. The Lunar is just down to 2 with one of the fairy types here being paralyzed at Primarina. We do have the Moonblast as a button to deal insane damage to this Dragonite. We saw last game that it would not pick up a 1-hit KO. We're gonna need to get creative here with our protects. Problem is though, Arcalodon has that flash cannon, chat. Arcalodon has a flash cannon. And what that means is it could be taking out this Grimmsnarl even though it's -1. We're gonna have to see. The second parting shot goes into the Dragonite this time. As Air Slash connects into the Grim. Oh, that's going to put it in range of Flash Cannon, most likely. Thunderbolt, though, it's going to be Thunderbolt into the Prim. Prim taking that pretty well thanks to the Calm Mind boost from earlier, but doesn't get paralyzed. It does not get paralyzed. We are going to break the Dragonite's multi-scale and do a shit ton of damage. Now, chat, it is all too likely that Garchomp is waiting in the wings here. And we saw Garchomp pick up that KO with the Poison Jab when the Primarina was half health. So while this board state is pretty nice from an HP standpoint, there is a giant shark dragon shaped problem in the back half of this game. Air Slash gonna go off into this Prim. Old Paraflin strats. Oh, the KO into the Grimmsnarl. Yep, it's not gonna tank that. Critical hit could have been what did it, but still, it's a super effective attack. Our Cowdon's so powerful. Prim gets out the hyper voice. But no! Our Cowdon will stay standing with just a sliver of HP. Even if Premature can take a poison jab now, can it actually take the follow-up between Garchomp and our Cowdon? I'm worried, chat. I'm worried. We can protect here. We can protect to get ourselves to 69% HP. Nice, but it's not looking good. Poison jab. Garchomp has that shit at the ready. And the Thunderbolt as well. This is going to be extraordinarily difficult. Don't know if Winner can bring it back here. Second coming of dinosaurs are delicious asks, does Hyper Voice even kill here? That's the question, right? Because the thing is, Primarina's, you believe it? Against all odds, against Trick Room, against their own default type, not even working. Against everything, chat. Moji, the dragon type ruler, was able to take that game 3. That was beautiful. That was one of the most beautiful sets of Pokemon I've ever witnessed. Truly, truly incredible stuff in that set, chat. But it's not over. It's not over, everybody. Oh, the room crashed. I'm gonna make the room real quick, chat, but we have the finals. We have the finals coming up. I'm gonna let everyone know in the chat as well that we got finals, chat. We got finals. Can you all believe it? This chat has been this game has been so insane. This set has been so insane. But we are not done. We are not done. I'm gonna take a few minutes, chat. We're gonna take a few minutes, but then it's gonna be time for Moji, the dragon tamer that can overcome all odds, and Helix, the absolute veteran, the demon that Moji is going to have to tame.
die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless, you'll survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold in the fight.
everyone! We are here! It is time! We have the finals of our mono-type tournament happening shortly, chat. Happening shortly. Are you hyped? I am so excited because we got to see some incredible matches, some back and forth, some wild plays, some insane comebacks in each of the sets so far. Now, everything is on the line, chat. Every single freaking thing. The glory, the pride, Moji's title of the Dragon Tamer, Felix's experienced point of view, experienced tournament winning gameplay of it. It is all going to commence in this beautiful finals here, chat. This is what both of our squads are looking like. On the left end, as we saw, beautifully played by Helix, this Gengar Perish team. We have seen the Gengar Sableye duo create insane mind games, force the opponents to switch to think ahead consistently. But all that pressure adds up in a best of 3 chat. And Helix is incredible at taking advantage of that and making every single moment count. Moji pulled off what it could have been one of the greatest comebacks I've seen in this game. Down 0-1, down Mono Dragon against Mono Fairy. One of the hardest matchups possible that you could pull. Moji pulled through in that semifinals to make it in a game 3 set to the situation. The question is, chat, with Mono Ghost, with Mono Dragon, who really has the advantage here? On one end, this Perish Trap mode, we have seen it time and time again wreak havoc into the opponents, but on the other end, Noivern and its Tailwinds can be very difficult to stop. You are able to threaten so much damage consistently with this Dragon type offense. It's a lot. It is really a lot. I don't know how much you can really perish through that when the Earthquake from Garchomp is one-shotting you or critting you, for example. That is the question. How we shut down the Garchomp, chat, is going to be so important in this game. So important. Second coming of dinosaurs are delicious asks, why does the Dragonite look like a Z crystal? I think it's a little like, I think they literally just included like a little like Z crystal like background around it for some reason, but yeah, that's like really funny. Second coming also notes that I think Dragon has a slight advantage over Speed. That's a great point. Ultimately, these are two trainers that are incredibly skilled and came back from situations that looked so bleak. When two trainers with this kind of tenacity show up against each other, who will be the one to come out on top? It's only one way to find out, everybody. Got the finals beginning! Finals beginning shortly! Both players here at Team Preview. We have seen that Gengar Sableye lead come out time and time again, but will that be the choice for this game 1? But either way, chat, it's time! Let's see it! Let's see it! Moji versus Helix. Dragon versus Ghost. Who is gonna come out on top? We're gonna see the Garchomp plus Noivern lead, the same aggressive lead that we saw in the game 1 of the semifinal set, while Gengar Sableye is going to arrive on the back end of Helix. Two classic leads for both of these teams. Moji's side threatening that Tailwind's Earthquake combo, or even a Dragon Shear Earthquake if we want to get really aggressive with our damage here. Of course, the Encore to Saber Chops are incredibly difficult to stop from Helix's point of view. Mega Plus Protect looks incredibly viable here. Let's see what both sides come up with. Fake out actually to start. I'm going to be doing a Fake Out first as Tailwind goes off. So this means that Garchomp is going to be the first one to move on this follow-up turn. Parasong will go off though. Parasong will go off. This is very interesting. Protect plus protect is so likely this turn, right? But the problem is... Well, I mean, actually you can't protect. You can only protect this Gengar here. Sableye is actually wide open to taking what's potentially a huge attack. However, this encore pressure from the Sableye is just so real. Does this use a setup? Bet. Yummy. Protect is gonna go off from the Noivern as Gengar chooses to match it here. There's very likely an Encore going into that Sableye, into that Noivern slot. Let's see. Yep, they're gonna be protected here. Of course, we do have the Encore pressure next turn to worry about as well, but gonna be able to at least make a bit of progress with this Earthquake. Yes, a lot of damage, but not enough to secure a one-hit knockout here. However, something worth noting, something absolutely worth noting is that normally, Gengar, you are able to disable this Garchomp usually before it can Earthquake again. But the Tailwind offense is going to force Gengar to play a bit more defensive here. The question is, does Moji choose to read this switch out? We have seen in these situations, Helix sacrifice one Pokemon so that Gengar can come back in, so that they have the Shadow Attack active when the pair's timer is 1. It's gonna protect! It's gonna protect! Oh my god. Encore is going to connect on that Noivern, forcing it to spam the hell out of protect. But that's not going to be doing as much here. Earthquake will go off once again as the Perish counter is 1. Ooh. Very good. This is very good. Thing is, while Garchomp is able to get off one attack here, Gengar has pretty much been completely scoff-free. You lead Garchomp with the intention of doing massive damage to this Gengar, but you're not going to be able to do that as it very likely just switches out on this turn. So the question is, what do? You're pretty much forced to Earthquake. You could try maybe going for a Poison Jab, but there's no one really to connect that Poison Jab onto. Switch out for the Basculegion here as an Earthquake is gonna go off. This is actually the first time the Basculegion has shown up on stream. Maybe not the best entry as it takes half of its damage and half of its HP to Earthquake, but Life 2 is gonna be a very clever option to offset that. Now Havoc is about to wreak, chats. Havoc is about to wreak. Because our Tailwind is pretty much over. That combined with Gengar being completely healthy in the back means that the Earnest is on Moji to clear out these opponents in front of us. When there's so many protects, when there's so many chances to Rage Powder ahead of us. Can the Dragon Tamer pull this off? We do have Flamethrower on this Mega Dragonite as a way to deal massive damage to the Sinister, but I don't know if it's going to be securing that one-hit knockout. We of course have Stab Air Slash as an option as well, but with the base power of that move being so low, I don't think it's going to get a one-hit knockout either. So then the question is, do we double up? Combine the Flash Cannon with a super effective attack from the D-Knights. We're just gonna have to make the right call here. And against a player so smart, it's gonna be difficult to do that. D-Knight here going to Mega Evolve, the Mega Evolution. The only Mega Evolution on this team. There's no Mega Garchomp, sadly. Acidicia goes for Protect, potentially reading what could be this double up with the Flamethrower combo. Last Respects is gonna be going into this Dragonite though. We'll break the multi-scale, meaning that the Shadow Ball from Gengar is gonna be doing a shit ton. But of course, Basculegion, it is actually Choice Scarfed here, and that Flash Cannon is just not going to be doing the damage we want. However, Who doesn't have a better attacking option to deal with this Basque Legion? It only has body press, it only has flash cannon, and while that was a very helpful set to have in the semifinals against the Mono Fairy team, in this Basque Legion, it's not going to be too great. You see Rage Powder from the Sinistcha as Basque Legion goes for her last respects into that Protect. We do see what could be a very difficult pin. Protect Life 2 actually gonna get us back to full. That does mean we can take another last respects pretty cleanly. Really clever play to give yourself more longevity in this game. I'm impressed. That was very good. Now the pressure is back on Sinistcha to protect on what could be a double up, but no protects what happened. Last respects gonna break the multi-scale once again as Air Slash connects into the Sinistcha. That's a KO. Narrowly does not KO. That is not what you want to see if you are Moji here, as the Life 2 connects once again, meaning that a flash cannon will not KO this Sinistcha. Going to shelter for now, meaning that last respects will not do as much damage into us as it would have otherwise. And now this is very difficult, chat. I want to zoom in on Dragonite's HP, shows that it's exactly at 74%, meaning that if you go for a Life 2 heal, you are not going to reset your multi-scale. You'll be at 99% HP, but not 100% HP. However, Moji does not know that. Not that she doesn't know that mechanic, but rather that, like, you don't see the percentages as the player. You only see the exact HP values. But will it? When you're at 74%, maybe a decimal will save you. I need to see. Oh, it does! It does! You're back at full! 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 Okay. You are able to cleanly take another last respects here as Sinistcha chooses to sacrifice itself so that Basque Legion can get off that last respects with more ease. Yep. The question is the whip. Oh my god. Okay, I don't think an air slash whip is too bad for us here, because we do get the multi-scale back right away, but I'd rather not miss in this kind of situation, you know? Second coming notes, Life 2 Ash game. This is definitely one of the Life 2 games of all time for sure. Starslide says, "Enough, how he's on?" It's okay. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, Air Slash reading the Protect. That's a shit ton of damage to the Basque Legion. That's actually a ton of damage in the Basque Legion. Oh no. That single call, chat, completely put Moji in the driver's seat of this game. Originally, last respects would have done an unholy amount of damage into Dragonite with the multi-scale broken, but just the Life 2 to continuously reset this multi-scale is proving to be incredibly difficult for Basque Legion to break through. They tried the last respects to +2 defense Guja Hisui, but we see it not do the damage that we want there. Sinistcha going to drop once again Life 2, but Life 2 is really just going to be for the Hisui and Guja this time. There is a big problem here, chat. To actually KO the opponents here, we must not use Perish Song. We cannot use Perish Song here because both Basque Legion and Gengar are faster than the Dragonite, than the Guja Hisui. Last respect's gonna do a bit more there, but once again, that multi-scale, but the follow-up with Shadow Ball does not get the KO. It does not get the KO. A ton of damage is coming towards this Gengar's way. 40% left on this Gengar's HP point. The double up! The double up! Oh, but it lives! It lives! Now Gengar is pressuring this Dragonite with the disable. that combined with the last respect being boosted from the basket regions, and this actually got very scary very quickly, chat. This could be a Protect Life 2 play from Dragonite here, as Last Respect connects into the Hisuian Gudra. Shadow Ball double up. They read the Protect. It's not going to be doing the damage we need, but that special defense drop could actually be humongous here. Life 2. This does give Dragonite the chance of surviving a Shadow Ball. Actually, a very, very comfortable chance of surviving a Shadow Ball. But the Last Respects is really threatening this Dragonite right now. Thank you for the ball. Thank you. Not having access to Protect on this turn specifically is just so scary. Gengar's gonna Protect first! Last Respect is gonna go into the Dragonite. I think that's a KO! That is indeed a KO! As Flash Cannon dings up in his Protect. The problem now, chat, is yes, this Gudra, it has the bulk to survive a few attacks, but there's one move that is super, super threatening for this Gudra to see. It's that Flash Cannon, chat. It's that Flash Cannon. The Last Respect's disable combo could totally shut down this Gudra's offense. We're just gonna double attack anyway. Gonna narrowly survive, which is on paper a great thing, but there's still the undead fish on the screen, chat. We're gonna have a sliver of HP, but we all know that this is a choice Scarf Basket Legion. There is no possible way that this Gudra can move and attack first before it does. The Last Respect is going to take down the Hisuian Gudra and allow Helix to take the first game in this finals. Yes, Helix being up 1-0 here is absolutely what you want to see. Every single advantage you would take as a Perish Trap team is that mental pressure on your opponent. The more pressure you put on your opponent as a Perish team, the easier it is for you to make them make mistakes. And there's no archetype better at punishing the wrong Protect or the wrong switch or the wrong attack at the wrong time than Perish Trap. Something worth noting is that we didn't even see the Sableye that first game, chat. Did not even see the Sableye. Will we see the adjustment in this game too? That's a question here. But it's time for game 2 of this set, everybody. Helix at match point. We're gonna see the same lead from Moji here. Oh, okay, yep. Actually, slight mistake, chat. Slight mistake. There was the Gengar Sableye lead last game. But it is back. Both of the leads are the same for this game. Problem is, we saw really clever Protect usage from Helix in that first game to play around this Garchomp without taking a lick of damage. How will Moji choose to play around the Big Up Perish song combo that we saw in that first game? Take care, Virna, take care! They got no Protects. Air Slash going to go into the Sableye, actually. Trying to remove the Prankster Encore combo as soon as we can. Ooh. I feel like if there's anyone we want to be getting damage into, though, it is that Gengar. We are pressuring the Sableye with the KO a lot faster than we were last game. So naturally, you may want to switch out your Sableye. The question is, how do you pin that? You could go for Air Slash plus Earthquake here. That could cover for the Goldango switching in. That could cover for the Annihilate switching in. That could cover for the Sinistcha. Pretty much everything but that Basket region is hit for super effective damage. That could be your play. Maybe even mix up with like a Protect or something. Or even a Dragon Cheer. A lot of options here on this first turn here. One of the things to note though, one of the very important things to note is that this Garchomp is going to be slower than this Gengar, which is different because in the first game, we Tailwinded immediately. Air Slash here, gonna get that KO as Sableye falls. But there's a very good chance we get Disable locked on this follow-up turn on the Garchomp's end. Earthquake here, we do have a scope lines. If it crits, this could be huge. Not gonna crit, gonna do a flat 59 here. But if you have a Pokemon advantage against Perish Trap, this is one of the things you really want to utilize. You really want to press on the gas in this kind of moment. Sinistcha will heal Gengar back up a little bit, and we do have 2 turns until this Perish Trap rings its song. How is Moji gonna play around this? Dragon Cheer is an option. Tailwind is an option. Protect could be done as well. Even Rage Powder plus Disable could be really solid too. See a Soda redeem for Brown. Got it. Soda. Chat, what do you call? Dragon Cheer. Dragon Cheer Earthquake has a ridiculously high chance to crit, chat. This might 1-hit KO this Basque Legion? Not quite. Gonna be doing a shit ton of damage though. Whoa. You have to switch out here if you're Gengar, or else you're down to risk the double protect. Basque Legion is also gonna be really far behind forced. The problem is, chat, this Basque Legion cannot protect. It is Choice Guard Basque Legion. And that means it's going to be taking a shit ton of damage here this turn. You could maybe try to swap it out for the Sinistcha, but I'll be sacrificing your Gengar. So you have to switch out Gengar here. Also, just a Tailwind from Noivern is just so incredibly likely here. You have Gengar switching out for the Sinistcha. Do we call this switch? Do we call it with the Air Slash? If you call it with the Air Slash, I think we're a god. As respect, it's gonna go off into the Noivern. But it does have the Focus Sash, so no matter what, it's living that. Air Slash into the Gengar slot, chat. Air Slash into the Gengar slot. Earthquake going to connect onto the Sinistcha, onto the Basque Legion. This is going to be a critical hit. Basque Legion say sayonara. Sinistcha sent so unbelievably low now. We are seeing Dragon Cheer being the hard counter to the Reflect that Sableye set up in the early game. Garchomp gonna go down here, but really doing everything we needed it to do. Emoji's backline is going to be the one to clean up the Sinistcha and Gengar, but the question is, will Helix let that cleanup happen in the first place? Dragonite's gonna appear, this Mega Dragonite versus Mega Gengar matchup as our Cowdon hits the stage. We are gonna choose to match it here. We said hi, it took a 7-hour yap for 3 p.m. 9 p.m. Oh my god. It's a long ass nap. Good evening. Good evening. We are in a very terrifying finals here. Game 2. Helix, the Gengar player on the left. She's up a game, so if she can take this next one, she wins the whole entire tournament. Protect. Gonna come out so we can pressure with Disable this follow-up turn. As Sinistcha protects as well. We really want to be pressuring the fast Disable Very, very interesting. Who says good evening? Yeah, good evening. Evening. I'm gonna see the flash cannon and the flamethrower come out. The thing about disabling chat is that will not necessarily save you here. A Dragon Pulse and Dragon Pulse combo, frankly, should be more than enough to KO the Sinistra. It's also gonna do huge damage to this Gengar. Kumbala, Kumbala! Rage Powder, very likely a Rage Powder disable call this turn. Oh, gonna Shadow Ball the Arcaludon, hoping for a crit. But we're not gonna see it. Here's the air slash. It whips the Sinistra. It whips the Sinistra. Oh, but the flash cannon, that's gonna be enough. Yeah, that is going to be enough. Sinistra dropping down as Gengar forced to play this 1v2. We are at 66% HP as the Gengar here, so maybe there's a chance, but this is gonna be hard, chat. It's gonna be really difficult. Breaking through a multi-scale Dragonite that just hits so ludicrously hard. We're just going to Shadow Ball first to clear out this Arcaludon. Dragonite, what do you go for? The Dragon Pulse. So much damage to this Gengar, chat. I don't know if we can make it through this turn. We're always able to quick flamethrower here. Multi-scale on the Dragonite being at that full HP is just getting so many difficulties. We're breaking through this threat. And once again, gonna be doing pitiful damage because of that multi-scale as Dragon Pulse connects! From Moji! Meaning that Moji will take game 2, and for the 3rd time this stream, we will be graced with a game 3. Everything on the line for both of these players. Can the Dragon Tamer that overcame the Mono Fairy matchup, can she do it? Or will the experience, the hard work, the grit of Helix be too much to bear? One thing that is on our side here, if we are a Helix fan, is the pressure. When you're in a final, when you're in a game 3, it's so easy to not think about the turns as thoroughly as you need to. And that one blip can be all a Perish Trap an Encore disabled team needs to run away with the game. On the other hand here, chat, there is no style more difficult to play when your back is against the wall than Perish Trap. You have to think ahead with Perish Trap. If you don't do it, you're just gonna get blown past like paper. So this is going to be a test. Not just a test of teams, not just a test of plays, but a test of mentality. Who is going to be the player to come out on top in this game 3? That's the question we have in our hands. Rick says, learning Japanese and talking with Japanese friends is legit converted my sleep schedule about. That's so much fun. Dude, that's actually, I fuck with that. I hella fuck with that. Chat, for just a bit of a like fun little trivia here, Brick in the YouTube chat is a Splatoon player, and something very cool about Splatoon is that the Japanese scene is truly incredible. Truly incredible. So what that means is that if you're able to make friends that are in the Japanese scene, you have potentially just some of the best players in the world. You know, you get to play with them, you get to chat with them. It's awesome. I love it. Rainer says my heart is racing. Same here. This really could go either way, Rainer. Everything on the line for both these players. As we head into team preview here, the question is, what kind of adaptations are we going to be making? We have not seen the Como at all this set. And we did see the Guru Hisui in game 1, but it's lacking damage in the Basque region proved to be very difficult. While on the other hand, I have not seen this Annihilate come a single time. I've not seen a single Annihilate game. Its fighting type damage could be very useful here for breaking through this Arcauda. Instead of playing with Namu's a 3600 JP roar, that's phenomenal. I love that. Chat, for reference, that's basically one of the best roar players possible, one of the best Splatoon players possible. And Brick in the chat got to play with them. That's super cool. Very, very, very cool. All right, we're winding down on the team preview time. Both players making sure to be meticulous about this final game of the tournament. They do not want to skip any steps. Everything can be considered as we go into the finals, the absolute game 3 final shots. Get hyped. This is your time to see some incredible games. We're gonna see the Dragonite Garchomp lead. We have not seen this before as the tried and true Gengar Sableye hits the stage from Helix's point of view. Now Dragonite plus Garchomp, you are pressuring the Earthquake damage still, but also the Mega Evolution Dragon Pulse is going to be hitting really hard. But one thing to note, chat, is that you have very easy access to the Encore Disable combo with this kind of lead. That makes me wonder, are you willing to just Mega Evolve Protect here? I would not be surprised if you go for Mega Evolve Protect right now, because you're able to disable this next turn. Let's see it. Yep, there's that Protect because you can pressure with the Disable next turn. Encore Disable into either slot is just so reliable, and it looks like you want to Encore Disable lock this Garchomp here as he goes to Earthquake into your Sableye. Going to be quite a bit of damage here. However, it's not damage into the Pokemon you necessarily want it to be on. Gengar going to be scoff free as you go into this turn 2. The thing is, you're really going to want some kind of follow-up, some kind of double up this coming turn. With the Encore Disable Lock, are we going to be able to do that? Encore on that. There we go. Encore on that Garchomp as Disable connects into it too. Dragonite gonna have to solo carry the damage here. But with another Encore Disable Lock being pressured next turn, do we actually have any damage to threaten with? Both of these Pokemon could be forced to struggle. And in the following turn, a Perish Song could begin to show its ugly head. Beautiful head for Helix, but not so much for Moji here, the Dragon type trainer. He's gonna Light Screen once again as we go for a Protect. I'm assuming we're trying to get some extra struggle damage into the Garchomp, and then we want to KO with a Shadow Ball here. Very nuanced call here. We're not gonna go for Perish Song because that can be too inconsistent with the Encore Disable timings. We instead just want to burst this Garchomp down with a combination of Shadow Ball and Struggle. This is incredibly difficult for Moji to break through here, and showing the importance of speed. You're not just dealing with Perish Song when you're fighting a Mega Gengar team, you're dealing with fast Disable. If you don't have a way to outspeed this Gengar, you're just gonna get Disable locks like over and over and over here. Another Encore Disable lock. That's gonna be Dragonite forced to struggle, breaking its multi-scale. We do almost KO the Sableye at least, but ooh-wee. Encore will at least end this turn. But I would not be surprised if we just Encore once again here. Actually, no, we can't Encore here. We can't Encore here because it's gonna fail. If we Encore this Dragonite, it's actually gonna fail. So yeah, we have to play this a little bit patient here. We see the step-by-step diligence Of course, gonna dink out that protect. We're gonna see the step-by-step diligence from Moji here as Holly, the Dragon Knight, going to struggle now. This is really the kind of turn you get when you're in a stressful game 3. No player wants to risk too much. Something I will say though is that even though we're encore disable locking the hell out of our opponents right now, take a look at Gengar and Sableye's health. It is way lower than this dual dragon type HP bar. Yes, it is scary that... Oh. Shadow Ball to the Dragon Knight. That's a lot of damage, but that's not gonna be a KO. The critical hit could actually significantly matter here. Holly gonna go for another struggle. We take out the Sableye. However, it is very likely that we are trading 1-for-1 this follow-up turn. Basque Region going to hit the field, has the Choice Scarf Last Respects to pressure the opponents with. We could very well be losing 2 Pokemon here. This is the nuance of best of 3s, chat. We saw how scary the Parasongs were in that first and that second game, but here, not a single Parasong has been clicked. This has been positioning with Encore Disable. All of that whittling down, all that patience has created a position where this Choice Scarf, always moving first Basque Region, is going to be pressuring the opponents with huge Last Respect or huge Wave Crash damage. Just not going to hit the field, giving Gengar some HP back as Gengar chooses to... I'm assuming this is a Shadow Ball to get into... Oh, we're gonna protect! What are we doing as Gengar then? Yep, we're gonna Shadow Ball, okay. This is a very nuanced call in chat. The reason why is Basque Region switching off of the field means we're not pressuring that Last Respect's KO damage anymore. We of course still have the Rage Powder. We still have the Rage Powder Shadow Ball combo to force a KO this turn, but there is a good chance that a Pokemon on the field is taking a significant amount of damage. If I'm Helix here, I'm probably clicking Rage Powder and Shadow Ball into that Garchomp just to do anything we can to take it out immediately, but we're actually gonna double! We're gonna double the Basque Region here. We're gonna double the Basque Region. Garchomp's gonna fail the double protect! A Shadow Ball actually goes to the... It goes into Dragonair! It goes into Dragonair! What a beat! Encore on the protect will end. I did forget there that Dragonite was forced to spam the how to protect, but this is a weird spot now, chat. We do have the Tailwind. Tailwind going up means that Garchomp will outspeed this Basque Region next turn. The problem is we already clicked protect. Oh, well, actually, that's fine, right? Yeah, Tailwind protect is actually completely fine here. It's completely fine. Noivern's actually very likely to go down to a double up here. Between the Gengar, between the Basque Region. Will Helix see this play? Last Respect is going to go into the Garchomp here. Actually, oh! Garchomp attacked! They didn't go for Protect Tailwind, they attacked! Tailwind will go up, but a no! Land Shark in sight! Shadow Ball will go off, but we will have access to 2 attacks this following turn, but it's all going to depend on who this back Pokemon is. The Arcaudon hits the Sage. Arcaudon, you do pressure this Gengar with really solid Dragon Pulse damage, but it's not going to be enough to connect the KO, especially with that Sinisha in the back. This is looking rough if you're Moji here. Down 3-2. A single Parasong could be ruinous as well. A bit of a mind game here. Attack will go off! as Dragon Cheer goes into the Arcalodon. Who is this Basque region targets? Thunderbolt is gonna go with, wait. Oh, it doesn't crit, but even if it didn't crit, it wouldn't be enough there. Last Respects goes into the Noivern, taking it out. One more Pokemon remains for Moji. When a single Perish Song could spell her doom. This is not the spot you want to be at if you're Moji right now. Having to pull was essentially a Christmas miracle. You have... There you go, we got one. We get one there, we do get one. Critical hit is going to help us out there. Gengar is all too likely to go for Parasong here. Or just a Shadow Ball. Yeah, Shadow Ball. Oh, that's way too much damage for us to comfortably take. We don't have the leftovers either because we have to run the Chople Berry. Now the Rage Powder Shadow Ball play is just looking all too likely for Helix. The player that's in a different time zone. Back against the wall in two very offensive, two very terrifying matchups. Had to have the resilience, the patience, the ability to see ahead. But all those skills culminated in this moment. The Rage Powder redirects the Flash Cannon, prevents Gengar from taking any damage to turn as it goes for the Shadow Ball. That all but secures to set for Helix! Helix is going to be your mono type tournament victor! Absolutely beautiful sets, beautiful games we saw in this tournament here. But at the end of it all, the veteran, the slayer of legends, the tournament winner, the pre-tournament winner, and now the post-tournament winner, Helix. Helix will be the one to take that crown. Chat, round of applause for everyone. Round of applause for everyone. Absolutely beautiful finals, absolutely incredible finals, super close games, 3 game threes we saw in this mono type tournament. I was at the edge of my seat. I hope you all enjoyed the beautiful games we got to see. Dragon type trainer pushed to their limits against a fairy type, forced to fight. Helix being forced to fight. Knock off one-hit KOing Mawile. Just one-shotting your team left and right, left and right. Everyone sweat their ass off to get to this finals, and the finals were no bit easier at all for either side. Round of applause, everyone. Round of applause. This was incredible. I'm floored. I am truly floored. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Wow. That's just incredible right there. All right, everyone. All right, GG's. G freaking G's, dude. You know what I'm gonna do, chat? You know what I'm gonna do? This is unscripted. This is not planned at all. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually show you the back end chat. I'm gonna show you guys the back end. This is the chat we've been chatting in. We're gonna do this here. We're gonna do this here. Where Helix right here. I'm gonna type GG's, and then at Helix, you're gonna get a custom roll for winning this mono type tournament. Let me know what color and name you like. I have to reward that excellent display in some kind of way. We gotta see beautiful games back and back to forth, boom, 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 boom. But I gotta reward that in some kind of way, chat. But of course, I have to say to you all, thanks for tuning in! Guys, that was awesome! I am so happy to get to show you all that incredible mono type gameplay. it was just roller coaster of emotions. But above it all, the victor was Helix here. Miss experienced herself. So incredible, chat. Guys, on the Twitch end, we are gonna do a fun little thing called raiding. We are gonna raid. Ooh, I know what to raid. Chat, Twitch chat, we're going to raid stuff of anime. First, YouTube, thank you all. Thank you all for being here. I'm so happy so many players, showed up, got to see these banger games, and we had a blast today. We streamed 3 different, basically YouTube streams at once here, and Twitch got to be here for all of it. Super grateful to have all of you guys here. Take care.